All right, today we're going to talk about a philosophy that basically flips everything you've ever learned about money right on its head. It's a simple but pretty radical idea called die with zero. So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the very heart of it all. What if the goal wasn't to die with the biggest possible bank account? Seriously, what if we've all been chasing the wrong number this whole time? The big idea here is a complete shift in perspective. You see, instead of just relentlessly trying to maximize your net worth, the new goal becomes maximizing your net fulfillment. It's about making your life richer, not just your portfolio. Now, when you start thinking this way, it uncovers what author Bill Perkins calls the great miscalculation, which is really the hidden danger in our traditional save, save, save mindset. You know, most of us are on this kind of financial autopilot. We just follow the script we've been given, work hard, put off the fun stuff, and just pour money into a retirement account for someday. The problem is we almost never stop to ask if we'll even have the health or the energy to enjoy that money when someday finally gets here. This quote just cuts right to the chase. Perkins is arguing that dying with a huge pile of money isn't some badge of honor. It's actually proof of a wasted life. Those are hours you traded away that you can never, ever get back. Okay, so if the goal isn't just about stacking up dollars, what is it? Well, this is where the philosophy completely redefines what it means to be wealthy. So the first big concept is life energy. This is just all the time you have on this planet to do stuff. And when you work, you're literally trading this finite, precious resource for money. So that money in your bank account, it's not just paper. It's basically stored units of your life. And this leads to an incredibly powerful idea, the memory dividend. Think about it like this. When you buy a physical thing, like a car, its value almost always goes down. But when you invest in an experience, a trip, learning a skill, it pays you back for the rest of your life. Those memories compound. They actually grow in value every time you think about them or share the story. So this idea of a memory dividend helps us build a totally new kind of retirement plan, one that isn't focused on a portfolio of stocks, but on a portfolio of memories. And this is the bottom line right here. Real retirement isn't just having enough money to stop working. It's about having a rich collection of memories to look back on and enjoy. That is the real nest egg. But maximizing these experiences means you're constantly trying to balance three key resources: your health, your money, and your time. And here's the kicker. These three things rarely line up perfectly. When you're young, you've got health and time, but no money. In middle age, you might have money and health, but absolutely no time. And when you're older, you finally have money and time, but your health might be starting to decline. It's a real balancing act. So how do you actually put this all into practice? Well, the strategy is to master the art of decumulation. And that's just a fancy word for the deliberate process of spending your money down to get the most enjoyment out of life. And the difference in these two approaches is just stark. The typical path has our spending peak really late in life. But the die with zero method, it says you should front load that spending into your middle-aged years, when your health and your ability to enjoy those experiences are still high. This is the key moment you have to identify, your net worth peak. Perkins says that for most of us, this happens sometime between the ages of 45 and 60. That's the signal. That's the point where you consciously shift from accumulating wealth to actively spending it down on experiences. And a fantastic tool for this kind of planning is something called time buckets. Instead of just one giant bucket list, you divide your life into decades. In your 20s, that bucket is probably filled with high-energy, low-cost adventures. Your 50s and 60s? That's the time for peak spending on those big dream trips. You wouldn't plan a 6-month backpacking trek for your 70s, right? It's all about being proactive and strategic with your life's timeline. But what about leaving money to your kids? Well, this philosophy argues that giving them a big inheritance when you die is often way too late. The absolute most impactful time to give is when they're between 26 and 35. That's when they can use it to really build their own lives, buy a home, start a family, launch a business. So, what does this all mean for you? It's really a call to action. It's a challenge to get off that autopilot we talked about and start living a more deliberate, intentional life. Just take a second and really ask yourself, are your financial habits actually serving your life?
Or are you just following a script without ever really thinking about how the story is supposed to end?
So let's just recap the core mindset here. It's about choosing experiences over things. It's about giving your money away when it can have the most impact. It's about actively planning for your peak experiences. And above all, it's about not squandering the one and only life you get.
And that's really the final crucial takeaway. The real business of your life is to collect memories. That is your true wealth. So the question this whole philosophy leaves us with is a really powerful one. What are you waiting for?